Good afternoon and welcome back to TBD, your Colorado Springs real estate podcast. I'm Rob Thompson, associate broker here at the agency, and I'm joined by my colleagues.
Laurie Ristig, also a broker.
My name is Mike Mattice with Provident Lending.
Right on.
We're back.
You changed lenders, Mike.
I did. I moved companies. I went to a broker shop here in town, local. I've been in business for 25 years, and they have a plethora of products to offer.
Awesome. Well, feel free to chime in as you see fit with any of those products.
I will try my best.
So great. So we're back. It's been, 6-7 months?
Yeah.
I think
It's been a hot minute.
it has. I went to a programming school for a couple months, and that slowed us down a bit, but we are back, and we're back full force, and stay tuned as the year goes on. We're going to be rolling out some products that we're actually literally building line by line. We were just having a brainstorm.
He says we. He's got a mouse in his pocket.
He's doing it.
Well, we share the credit. Laurie has some great ideas, and Mike has too, and so we're going to put those into play and build some tools for consumers, and then roll those out. But that said, today's topic is actually combining households, I believe.
Yeah, someone got engaged.
Okay. So we're
Yeah.
going to talk about.
I
That's
did.
right. Yes,
I
you did.
Yes.
Okay. So authorities on the topic here.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk
Combining
about that.
household soon.
Yeah, well, congrats, man.
Thank you.
That's
She's pretty amazing.
She's pretty hot. Good job.
well,
Never met her. Just seen pictures, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Mike's pretty infatuated with her, so yeah.
Walking it down.
I did.
Right on.
Waste no time, and you have a good thing.
Fair enough. So first up is our market stats. So one of the products we've built is an aggregate algorithm that takes the last 30 days, and so these are from those.
Yeah, we used to have to look these up manually, and it was a drawn-out process. And now we just go on Rob's little fancy algorithm, and it goes bloop, and
Yep.
they're all right in front of our eyes.
Push button. Yep. And this is one of the features that will allow consumers to get access to as well. But so our average close price right now for the last 30 days running is $340,871. Mike's shaking his head.
It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
We're still climbing as fast as we are.
It's unbelievable to me too. Listeners of the podcast, all dozen of them or so, will know, and you guys point out frequently that I've been a naysayer for quite a while.
Chicken little.
Yeah, well, and so we did see a drop of about 16K over the quarters, but now this close price average is back up with the second quarter of
Well,
last year.
we're hitting spring.
Well, and everybody was predicting interest rates keep going up, and I'm like, what?
Well,
It's not
They kind of
happening.
did a little spike and then they're settled.
Well, they backed
Yeah.
off. The
Yeah.
administration is putting some massive pressure on the Fed to keep the rates low. The problem is, in my opinion, it's going to spit out in the form of inflation if they keep them artificially low any longer.
Yeah.
But then again, I've been wrong for nearly a year.
Yeah.
So
Rob's theory is we're like the Roadrunner, where we've already ran over the cliff and we're running in space and
I
waiting
believe
to
that.
fall.
I believe that. Now that said, I still believe in buying real estate, but for the long haul. It's a long
I
haul
think
decision.
you're
There's
not
going to
going
be a
over it.
correction.
I think we're not going over a cliff. I think it's a hill. We're not going to fall to our doom.
No.
We're going to fall a little bit.
Well, and I think
what I
that's
think.
I think
I mean,
that's
that's my personal.
the nature of the economy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always done
Up and
that.
down and up
So-
and
Up
down.
and down.
When I say cliff, I don't mean like
Rob,
Yeah.
back it off.
No, I don't mean like the Great Depression, right? I do mean a fundamental restructuring of things. Like, for example, the way we buy and sell real estate. Our kids are not going to be able to buy houses. They're not. It's for the continued rate of appreciation to keep going the way it's going. By the time my 8-year-olds are
They can't.
18, right? So the ripple effect from that though is. My house would be $500,000 or $600,000 by the time they're 18.
Oh,
At
if
the
it
current
continues at the current rate.
right.
Yeah,
So
it just won't.
Wages are not
It just
tracking
won't.
along
No.
with that.
Right,
Yeah.
and all these things and automation and all these
Yeah.
things too are coming to bear. Meaning that there's a quote that I liked a lot. It says, "Housing ate the world." So we've used for a number of years housing as a piggy bank to power the economy. That's going to change. So that's the cliff.
How so? How do you think?
I think we're going
Well,
to see
people like to tap equity, and
It's
that,
true.
that can only go for so long.
Yeah.
There will be new jobs created from automation and things, but the post World War II economy, the set of circumstances that built our post World War II economy, are very unique, and
Yeah.
so
and are evaporating.
They're changing, and I think a lot of the rage we see now is a resistance to that change, but consider the iPhones that we all are rocking. Or no, Mike's got a Samsung, I think. What do you
No,
have?
it's got an iPhone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I have the smaller one, so I didn't recognize it. That only costs what it costs because Chinese labor is willing to build it for $1 a day.
Yeah.
What happens as China rises, and they want as China rises?
Well,
She's
they
saying
already
they
They
are.
are, yeah, right. So when they
I think they
demand
surpassed us this year, didn't they? Or they're
in the
close.
size of the GDP, well, so when I'm talking about their labor costs, so when they
Yeah.
pay $5 a day, that will raise the cost of your phone, and then that. You think Apple's going to take a hit to their bottom line?
I think a big part of the cost of our phone is our perception of how much it's worth, not how much it's actually worth, or how much
That's
it
fair.
costs for them to produce.
That's fair, but the
They can
ripple
only
effect.
they can only increase it so much, and then people are going to be like, no.
I can't afford it. Right. But then too, Apple's earnings will be less.
It's true.
So it'll have
No, I
that ripple.
understand.
So that's. But anyway, we're way off topic.
That's a big.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So close price $340. What's our like that?
U-turn.
U-turn. Our median.
Yeah, median price is $307,948.
Okay. Sellers concessions are averaging $2,247 the last 30 days.
So is that up or down over last year?
That's pretty consistent.
It doesn't change that.
Yeah, not much. I'd say negligible.
Is
2,200
there a
has been.
percentage of more or less, meaning properties, sellers who are accepting that or offering that?
I would have
less
to-
or more?
I would have to break that down by price point.
Yeah.
I would say the lower the price, the less the concessions that they're getting. Because,
Yeah.
For example, just put a house on the market for $305. We didn't have to pay any concessions because multiple showings, and so yeah. The lower price point homes have higher demand, so less concessions.
Yep.
Would be my thought.
What offer do you prefer? Cash, VA, FHA, conventional?
I prefer the one that works the best for my seller. That said, cash closes quicker and often doesn't have an appraisal.
Right.
98% of the time or so it doesn't have an appraisal. So it's a quicker, cleaner close for everybody. Cash offers also tend not to be so rigorous on the inspection. Most of them.
Yeah. If you have that kind of cash to throw around, you're not going to be as I need you to fix all these things for me because you can do it yourself. And
You can,
just
or
get a
you can
deal
drop
on
the price,
house.
right?
Yeah.
Often there's a perception that cash is king. That's not necessarily so in our market. The last time we ran the numbers for that, it was something like 98.9%. So it was only commanding a 1% discount, a 1.1% discount in the market.
Nice.
But still, days on market right now are 38.39 for the last 30 days.
Which is 20 days more than the last time we sat down.
Mhm.
Last time we sat down, there was no time on
Yeah,
market
it's like
practical.
double. It's like
It is.
double.
To me, that's an
But-
interesting juxtaposition too of the pricing. As the pricing goes up, the days on market increases. But over the weekend, put a house on the market, was under contract and decided today. So it's,
Again, I think price point's a big.
Yep.
Like if you break that down by price point, I guarantee you there's a big swing.
And we're approaching the buying season.
We are. Yep.
Yeah, so
I
that's
still keep
probably gonna
thinking
shrink.
that there's got to be a cap to the affordability component. Like, for example, BAH went down for some folks. So there's only so far it can extend.
Yeah.
However, like the coyote and the cliff, we're just keep running,
Yeah.
not looking down. So, in my opinion, there's been 1,183 homes sold in the last 30 days, and we have about 1,570 or so on the market right now. So we have about
I think
five.
the last time we sat down, it was like 900 to 1100 somewhere in
Agreed.
that number.
But what's interesting to me is the ratio there. The 5 to 6 weeks of inventory is
Yeah.
pretty consistent as well for our
Yeah.
market. So they say a healthy market has 5 to 6 months worth of inventory.
5 to 6 months.
Months, yeah. That's a healthy, balanced market.
We're not healthy.
Yeah, yeah.
Still
Well,
a seller's market.
still a seller's market is what that says, right? Even though on the fringes we're feeling that change,
Mhm.
but empirically still a seller's market. So that's our stats. Any other thoughts?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's switch gears to content here and combining households.
Combining the households, yeah.
So, why? What you got?
What do I have?
What do you
Wow,
got? Yeah.
right to Mike.
Right
Okay,
to Mike.
Well,
fine.
you're the guy who's doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've already done it.
We want to hear it from the people. Yeah,
I-
forever ago.
I'm just beginning that process
15
of
years.
talking about combining houses, actually, moving from my residence to another residence. And,
What's some of your considerations in that?
well, I have to get rid of some stuff, and so does she, so we have room for each other. So there's some of that, and then, you know, not negotiating's a bad word, just coming to terms with who's going to be responsible for what.
Are you guys moving into something you want to
No, I'm actually
already
moving.
own, or are you guys selling what you have and getting something new?
No, we're going to move. I'm moving into her place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to sell your old place?
I've been renting, so
You
I'm
gonna rent
happily going to unrent it.
Right on. Yeah, that's where I was aiming with that question is if both parties owned a house, what one of the considerations there would be? What's the
Well,
cash flow?
and that's funny because I do have some friends who have recently been married and are doing just that. I can think of one couple in particular where she moved into his place and they rented her place because she's making money. Why sell it?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cash flows
especially if you've owned it for a while.
Yeah, she's had
Like
it
we-
for 7 or 8 years
Yeah,
now.
we bought our house 8 years ago, and if I sold it now, I could sell it for twice what I paid for it. So
Yeah, but
my
you could
mortgage
also-
is really low.
Yeah.
So if I want to rent it at the going rate, you
Yeah,
make money.
I think she's near double
Yeah.
her mortgage payment.
Mhm.
My wife and I, we live in Palmer Lake and against the mountain there, and some of the houses selling around our houses are selling for a significant chunk above what we
Yeah.
paid, and it's extremely tempting
To sell.
to
But
sell.
then you have to buy something.
Then you have to buy something, or
And you
or
just
rent
did a
it.
whole lot of
Break
renovation
even.
Yeah,
and
that's why.
stuff on your
So
home.
we could, and we were looking at the numbers the other day, and yeah, the cost of the renovation is probably what we could pocket. In
Your
essence,
kitchen is insane.
thank you.
I want your
We're quite
kitchen.
happy about it. It's,
We've got to shoot a photo of that. I haven't ever seen the end
I'll attach
result.
it to the comments of this podcast.
Excellent.
Perfect.
But it's an
Perfect.
open galley kitchen now, and it's really neat.
Nice.
But then as we're standing in that very kitchen, looking around, and we're both just, although it's tempting, it's not really. You know, it's like,
Mhm.
yeah,
You're like, no, I love
just,
this house.
and so
Yeah, you start putting sweat, love, and tears into something, and then
just,
why would
and
you
then
want
the
to sell?
thought of moving too is just.
And
Sorry-
for you,
sorry,
you're in a
Mike.
good location because I know you go to Denver quite a bit,
Yep, it's
and
about
so it's an easy
equidistant
pop
to-
on the
yep.
freeway, and
Mhm.
up the freeway you go.
Yep. So that's for us. That's one of the considerations that I would have is if that were happening is what's the better cash flow? What's the better option?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
option number one of you moves into the other's houses and you rent what you got.
Right,
Option number two, you sell what you got,
and buy something
If you
completely
split-
different.
or just pocket the equity.
Yeah,
You put that into the house that you're moving into, or
Mhm.
put it in your savings account, or go shopping. Go on a sweet. Oh, a honeymoon!
right. Yeah, there you go.
You know what? I think I just realized I forgot to play with the theme song for
Oh.
this intro, so we're gonna do it now.
Oh yeah. Delay.
We can only do 30 seconds, or else it's
You could probably put that in the beginning.
probably could. I could cut it
Yeah.
in.
Cut it in, yeah.
Oh, good call. I'll do that. Okay, I'll do. There we go. Okay, so back to our topic. So we got the combining. What about furniture, Mike? What you doing with your furniture?
Well, in our case, her basement is empty, so my living room will become the furniture in the basement, and then her son will be able to hang out down there with his friends. So
When my wife and I combined households, pretty much we threw all away my stuff, or donated all my stuff because it was all single guy, cheap stuff.
I didn't do that when I went through. I'll just say, when I through my divorce 3 years ago, I decided to treat myself nice. So
Right on, yeah.
You got good furniture.
I did.
Nice.
For me, I was stationed in Italy, and I had a mantra that if I was at home, I was doing something wrong because I wanted to be out exploring. So I just
Right.
bought the bare bones, whatever I needed to
Awesome.
craft.
see, I had the opposite thought.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
when the very seldom chances I am home, I'd
Yeah.
like to be comfortable.
There's that.
Because the thing that I like to do and that we like to do, Joni and myself, is we don't like to sit at home. So
I love sitting at home.
I cannot
on the
stand sitting at home.
Well, on the flip side now, though, 20 years later,
Yeah, well, you've got
I'm like-
2
I'm-
children.
yeah, I'm like, I
Yeah.
like being home. You know,
Yeah.
so,
I used to have those anchors too.
yeah, anchors. They're adorable little anchors.
Yeah,
They are.
the best anchors ever.
They are. Mine are all gone and flying on their own. So life is good.
Okay, so another option, you both sell your house. So I remember when my mom got married to my stepdad, she didn't want to move in. She didn't want to be like, I'm moving into your place and now you have to shuffle your stuff. And he didn't feel that way either. So they both sold their houses and they bought something new together.
Nice.
It was just theirs. I don't remember if they had equity on their houses or if they just broke even. But I mean, especially, if you both have equity on your houses that you can put into another home.
Mm-hmm. Well, our long-term goal is to sell the one that she has now and buy a rancher.
Oh, cool.
Hers is 3 levels: the basement, the main, and the upstairs.
You don't want to have have one of those like chairs on your stairs to go up and down the stairs when you're
So
old.
what are you trying to say? You're trying to say I'm old?
Chairlift.
Wow. All right. No, that's an investment for 20 years from now, maybe.
Cool.
No, but yeah, we want to get a ranger. That's our ultimate.
We almost converted our garage into a master suite at the
I remember
suggestion
that.
of the contractor. And
Mhm.
as I go up and down the stairs now, I think that would have been a great idea. But then we would have no garage. So
Having no garage in Colorado is the worst.
well,
Yeah.
the thought process was we could put in a detached garage in the
Mhm.
backyard, which would have been cool.
Right.
But
Well, and there's a lot to be said for the main level bedroom, because in my previous home, it was on the main floor.
yeah,
I can tell you, I appreciate not having to walk upstairs.
yeah.
I really feel like one of the, and I mean, I think
Because as Laura pointed out,
Fact.
I'm old.
No. I really feel like one of the, it is one of the top stressful things in a relationship is money.
Uh-huh.
It's like money, sex, how you raise the kids. I don't remember what else. Religion, yeah. Money though, and if you guys can sit down, I'm engaged, and you can sit down and hash it out and agree on something. 'Cause one of you might not want to move, and the other one might say, no, I don't want to move into your place, or they might, I want to rent. Well, I want to sell it. I don't want this. Or I want to spend it on a sweet honeymoon like me. I want to put it in a savings account like my husband.
Uh-huh.
Like I feel like if you can navigate through combining your households,
What about
pain free, you're golden. You're in a good relationship.
that brings up joint accounts.
Yes.
When do you merge? When do you merge your money, or do you?
Pete and I had our own accounts for a good 5 years after we were married before we merged.
That's our current plan. Is
Yeah,
to
we just kept
continue
it.
having our own.
There was no reason to merge them. Like I made my own money, he made his
Yeah.
own money, and we just pitched in on the bills, and it wasn't really a thing. And then when I stopped working, because I had my daughter, was like, okay, maybe we should just have one account.
I was just going to say that. What if your spouse is not working? That could impact the emotional aspect of
Yeah.
that decision. Yeah.
It definitely impacted my shopping habits.
I think we pretty much merged right away, but also my wife went to school right away
Mhm.
too, so it was like
Yeah, If you don't have
plus,
an income.
Plus, it just didn't bother me. It's whatever,
Yep.
So yeah, so that's an option. Any other factors in merging households? You guys can
I
think
can't
of?
think of anything
Yeah.
off the top of my head. I think we
Okay.
covered the main
Mhm.
brushstrokes.
What, relatedly, if you do choose to buy a house, title. What about title to the property?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
are
if we
you
buy a
going to
house,
go on to the title of her house?
I don't think so. Not initially. I think when we go to sell that one and buy the next one, we'll probably be on title together.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, that covers the big strokes that I can think of too. Yeah.
Well, and then
Yeah.
sometimes people, not just combining households, will get married and buy their first house together. Like young
Yeah, right.
couples. I remember buying my first house with my husband, and it was in the campus ghetto in Albuquerque.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so exciting because it was like we had always rented. I'd never bought a house. I didn't even think I could buy a house. I was like, my credit's not good enough. I don't have down payment.
I don't have
But
income,
I
blah,
was
blah,
a
blah.
veteran, did not realize I had a VA loan.
How
Never
about that
even
VA
occurred to
loan?
me. But I would like play around on Zillow, just goofing around. Hey, Zillow has its pluses and negatives, okay? But anyway, and saw a house and I was like, it's just the cutest thing. And so I went to the open house and the lady got me, and so she had the buyer and the seller then, because I was like, I can buy this, and was awesome because we bought it with no money down.
It's a great product. Yeah.
It was, what is
VA
this,
loan.
2006? It was $93,000.
Wow.
I mean, it was like 1,000 square feet, so it wasn't anything.
The first place that I bought was in Laguna Niguel, California. It was a condominium,
Mhm.
and we bought that one for $97.
Yeah, crazy
Yeah.
pants.
Yeah. Now I actually looked at that. It's ironic because you bring that up. It's $425,000 now. Yeah.
Oh no, mine's not worth that, but.
But that's Laguna Niguel. That's Orange County. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, behind the orange curtain.
When we bought a house in Vegas in 2006, and that wiped us out. But yeah, 10 years
I
later,
think a lot of us ended
Yeah.
up in that
10 years
time
later,
period
when
getting
we-
wiped out.
yeah, when we bought here, we both went on title because
Mhm.
but I was the only one that went on the loan. My intent there was if I got hit by a train or run over by a bus or whatever,
Right.
then she would have the option to hold on to the house or let it go without it impacting her credit. So that was
Oh yeah.
because otherwise she'd be on the hook for the mortgage. So
Right.
yeah,
So that's smart.
I
But
think
wouldn't she be on the hook for the mortgage anyway?
No, No, because she'll have to refinance the house to hold on to it.
Right.
But she's not on the hook for the mortgage credit-wise, if she wants to hold the house. But if
Actually, if you passed away, as long as she kept making the mortgage payment, she wouldn't have to refinance it. There's no need.
that's true.
Yeah,
I mean,
as long as
if she wanted the mortgage in her name,
Yeah.
right. But
Why?
But the idea would be that if she chose not to hold the house, she could let it go back to the bank without being.
Because you guys had such a loss on the
Previously,
house.
I wanted to protect her as best I could, right?
To protect her credit.
And I also took out
That's not a bad idea.
a large enough insurance policy. Don't get any ideas.
Oh, I did the same thing.
I had a conversation with her this last night.
Okay,
If
she can pay off the
I'm going
house.
to be so rich.
Make sure you check those brakes when you get in the
well,
door, buddy.
to her credit, whenever I mention that, she goes, "Don't talk about it. That's not funny." I'm like, "It's kind of funny."
It's kind of funny.
It is kind of.
And I'm like, ooh, if you die at work, I get so much more. Make sure that if you're going to die in an accident, it happens at work. I love you so much at work.
Before I retire. I told her she needs to off me before I retire from the military or right before I turn 63. So because after that, it's over.
My life insurance, I think, expires in another 2 years.
This podcast is going to be used as evidence later.
It probably is.
I'll be being questioned.
Mike, shameless plug here. You need to call my friend Doug Brown. He does life insurance.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so we covered quite a bit again. Are there any follow-ups there?
No.
I mean, I'm sure there's all kinds of nuances of this that we're not covering. We're just kind of doing the broad brush strokes, but
broad welcome back brush strokes kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, if there are anything that you guys can think of, our listeners here, please put it in the comments and we'll address them. Or let's talk about interest rates, Mike.
Interest rates.
Yeah,
we have the magic 8 ball still.
Yeah.
Thank you for remembering that before we began.
No problem.
So the question is, will rates continue to go downish?
You can't see this, but he's shaking the 8 ball quite gracefully, and he's examining.
And it says yes.
Yes.
They're going to keep going down?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
no. Our economy
They've been kind of doing this lately. And why I'm making a hand motion in a podcast doesn't really make it.
Well, it helps.
Hopefully you guys can all see that.
Yeah.
It's making waves.
So we think they're going to keep going down, which could have an inflationary effect.
It
but
could.
But is that consistent with your practical, real life? What you think they're going to do?
I've noticed them. They kind of go up a little bit. They kind of go down a little bit. But they're definitely down from where they were, say, 2 months ago. So.
Which I think is spurring on the additional growth and et cetera.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any book or podcast recommendations from everybody? Lori is laughing because she's got a bunch of not safe for work podcasts on her thing.
Well, it's because you're kind
of
of weird.
So bad. No, but I picked this one. It's great. It's called Adventure Zone. If you play Dungeons and Dragons, or if you're like, what is Dungeons and Dragons? Tell me about this, and you want to listen to a fun podcast, it's just these dudes. They have another podcast called My Brother and Me, and they are just sitting down and playing. Some of them for the first time ever, a game of Dungeons and Dragons, and it gets silly and it's hilarious.
Kind of
and
like
it's
a live
really
stream.
funny. My kids love listening to it in the car, and I enjoy doing it as well. Sometimes it's slightly inappropriate, maybe if your kids are a little older. It's real funny though. There's a wizard named Taco in it. So the kids love that. Every time Taco comes up, they're like, "Yes, it's Taco."
That's funny.
Taco with 2 A's.
So taco? No.
Taco. He talks like this. Taco.
I see. Dignified. Okay. What about you, Mike?
I'm going to actually plug something called The Move, since I'm a cyclist. It's a podcast done by Lance Armstrong. Yeah, I know. Everybody goes, hey.
He lived here for a little while. He went to Palmer.
They're all doping.
Yeah, for like a year.
Yeah, they're all juicing. He just got caught.
Yes.
Not to
He
say
should
not
never
to
come
say
back.
that that's correct or anything, but
Yeah, he should. Oh, whatever. He admitted on public television. So
No, I mean, as far as. Anyway, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry, keep going.
Anyway, the Tour de France is coming up soon, so he'll be firing up and broadcasting about that.
Cool.
It's actually really interesting to hear from a racer's perspective.
Are you in any clubs in town or anything?
No. Well, I am.
No.
One's called Pedals and Pints, and they focus mostly on pints.
Yeah,
less
they
on
ride to a
pedals.
bar.
Yeah, from one to the other.
That's like a bar crawl on a bike.
Yeah.
I had a friend who got a DUI on a bicycle
Yeah.
one time.
No,
Be
I have
careful.
friends too. I grew
Serious.
up on the beach. Yeah, it happens a lot. People get on their bikes and they ride down the Strand, which is a little strip of concrete that runs from Redondo Beach all the way to Santa Monica.
Is the penalty as severe as driving?
Oh, he was in the military. We were at a party on base,
And he
And,
rode
Oh, well,
and he
that's-
was like, I don't want to get pulled over and get a DUI because we had a lot of people in my unit who kept getting DUIs.
We're talking about a bicycle here,
a
right?
bicycle, like a
Yeah,
bike,
but
a bicycle.
okay, that's not a fair.
So he was
it's not
like,
fair.
I'm going to ride my bike to this party because I know I'm
Yeah.
going to get trashed and I don't want to add to the negative,
Shame on that guy's chain of command.
No.
Yeah, so he rode his bike and then he leaves the party. In the MP's defense, he was super wasted on his bicycle.
Yeah, but MP's got nothing better to do with their lives.
So yeah, he got
than
pulled
live.
over on his bike and got a DUI on his bike.
Did they pull his license?
I don't know. It's a thing.
Wow.
It's a thing.
I
I
think-
also know another person who rode his bike home drunk from a bar and ran into a post and died.
Oh.
So,
That's terrible.
so kids,
Yeah.
Oh.
kids,
Don't drink and ride.
your bike. Drink,
Don't just
or if
call
you do,
somebody.
yeah,
Don't do what Mike does.
just drink lightly. Just have one beer and then go for your ride. Don't get wasted. 'Cause
What?
both these people were wasted.
I know somebody that got a DUI. They're an officer, and they got in their car, no intent to drive home.
Mhm.
They moved the car and they were going to sleep in the car in the driveway.
Oh, you gotta throw your keys.
Well, yeah, and that's what, so he backed up.
Leave an ignition, yeah, you're done.
Yeah, he backed it up, and then a little while later, a police officer rolled by and knocked on the window, and he said, "Are you all right?" He said, "Yeah." And the ensuing conversation, he admitted to moving the car 50 feet DUI.
Rude.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah, I knew a
just be
guy
super
again in
careful.
the
Don't
military
just-
who was sitting in his car sleeping it off and got a DUI, and so we all got instructed because, like I said, in my unit there were a lot of DUIs. We all got instructed: if you are sleeping it off in your car, take your keys and throw them somewhere. Remember where you threw them, but throw them. They need to be at least 15 feet from the car. Just chuck them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. So that was the advice we got: throw your keys.
I would say just stay out of the car.
Yeah, I am like the
Call somebody,
hugest.
yeah.
Do not drive drunk. Oh my gosh, I'm not drunk, you guys. I swear. Do not drive drunk.
What's that flask?
Don't drink and podcast. No, do that. That would be funny, actually. Don't drink and drive. It's
Oh,
just
maybe
stupid.
we should do that next
It's,
time.
it's idiotic.
Yeah.
It's dumb. How cheap is a friggin' lift? It's so cheap.
So, PSA for this podcast: don't drink and drive, or bicycle and drive. Call
Yeah.
somebody. Did you even get to talk about your podcast? I think you were talking about the move.
No, I said the move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's-
fair
yeah,
enough.
you can just type in the move.
Okay.
And you'll find it.
I'm gonna go a different direction. Haven't had last 6 months haven't been able to read a lot of professional development books because I've been doing this coding thing, right? But just recently I picked up board games again,
Yes.
and I've been teaching my daughters who are 8 to play Settlers of Catan. Oh my gosh,
God,
it
that's
is.
an
That's the
8-hour
best game. No, it's
Oh,
not.
No, not Settlers. Risk can be an
No,
8-hour
yeah,
game,
Risk is
but,
totally 8 hours.
Settlers
is fun.
and it's non-threatening too. It's
Are you playing the
economics.
adult version or the kid version?
The adult version,
Excellent.
and Sam, one of my daughters, is she gets it. She won last night
It's
actually.
so
She like
fun.
legitimately won, and then even Sloan, who is a little less able to grasp the strategic
Mhm.
concepts. She picked up her own strategy. She now just tries to buy all the development cards she can and win that way. And she almost won this.
Nice.
Yeah, like everything she does is all geared towards development cards
Uh-huh.
and the advantage there. So she stuck that robber on me like 6 times last night. And Sam won, legitimately won. So I'm going to go with the recommendation of a board game. If you want to play a cool board game that talks about economics and strategy and is graspable by 8-year-olds, Settlers of Catan.
I think my favorite board game. So now I think we should all recommend a board game. Do you play board games, Mike?
I have not in years.
Oh man,
I know.
Small World. Have you played Small World?
I haven't. No.
Oh, it's so fun! And here's the thing: it's got these cards. So you basically you have a race of creatures. So you might be an elf or whatever, and then you have like add-on cards that you basically have 3 cards, and those are your powers for during that round or whatever. But for every game, you mix those cards up. So you might be like, oh man, the elves kicked butt last time. I'm going to choose that again. But if you don't have that same add-on, it might be a totally different game. I'm not explaining this very well. Trust me, it's so fun. And the slogan on the box, because it's called Small World, the slogan on the box is, it's a world of slaughter after all. It's the funnest game. It's kind of similar to Catan, but not. It's fun though. I have that game. Next game night.
I was thinking.
We used to play the train game. I don't know if you ever played that, but it's based around trains, and you have to go from one city to another.
Oh yeah. What's that game called? I know this game.
Train game.
It's not called the train game. There's a name for it. Well,
Train game.
this is a different game. that I'm
Is
thinking.
there any game that like
I will
takes
send Rob a link.
I'm
that
gonna Google
takes
it now. I've played this game.
that takes the economics of Catan with the battles of
Small
Risk?
Oh, Risk?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
that'd be a cool game because then you have to do resource management
Well,
and
Small
Catan.
World kind of does
Does
that
it? Okay.
because you do. You're trying to take over the board, and at the end of each round, you get a coin for every land that you are currently occupying.
Okay.
And then during the next, and you only get to keep your race for like two or three rounds. I don't remember. And then you retire that round, and then you get your next one. And you can. There's like 5 on the board. You get the top one, but if you want the next one down, you have to pay for it.
As I said that, I was thinking too of Axis and Allies. So, but that's quite complex. That we played Axis and Allies one time for 3 days.
It is.
And we
Keith keeps
were-
trying to get me to play Axis and Allies, and I'm like,
Okay.
no.
I would slash my
when I was
swear to
19.
God,
We
there's
played
no way.
for 3
Ticket
days.
to Ride.
Yeah.
Ticket to Ride is
No,
the train
it's
game
not
I
the
played.
s- no.
It's the same
Well, that
thing.
might be
It's the
the
same
same thing.
concept. You want to take over. You
You're
want to get
wrong.
across countries. You want to That's a fun game. Pandemic is a fun one.
Okay.
That one, nope. Your entire everybody playing either wins or loses. It's like a cooperative game. It's really
Okay.
fun.
When's your next game night?
Well, I was gonna have one, like I
Yeah.
said, I was gonna have one
Yeah.
this weekend, but we've got
Grappling.
grappling.
Yeah. Oh, give a shout out.
sure.
Yeah, please give a shout out.
So I am in the world of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I personally don't train, but like everyone I know does practically, and my husband does. He's a blue belt, and we started Pikes Peak Grappling. We're having a tournament on March 30th at the City Auditorium all day long. It's gonna be great. But I've been real busy with that, so
Right on.
we decided to skip game night this month. And then next month we decided to do Drink Talk Learn,
Oh, I did
where
get the
you
invite.
have
for
a
that. Yep.
required PowerPoint presentation you have to bring to the
Nice,
game.
nice. Well, all right. So this has been a wide-ranging podcast from welcome back to market stats to what are we talking about? Combining households to gaming to
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
podcast,
It was
doping,
more like
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
we got to catch up again.
Yeah,
It was real
was-
great. It was fun.
Well,
Good times.
Any last reattacks? You want to? If anybody looking to get a mortgage, how do they get a hold of you, Mike?
719-505-3467.
Okay, if they're looking to buy and sell a house, how do they get a hold of you, Laurie?
Look me up on Facebook, Laurie Ristig, or call me 719-964-0632, or you can text me if you're one of those people who's like, I don't want to call you.
Fair enough. I'm 719-440-6626. Can help you with your real estate needs or programming now too. So if you have anything you're curious about, give us a
I
shout.
can also provide board game recommendations.
Oh, you sure can. Or
We can
podcasts.
talk
Yeah.
about Brazilian
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Can you program a bike that will pedal itself?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you sure could. I mean that's just
Without
Yeah.
using batteries though, because
That's called a
that has
motorcycle.
limited-
Isn't that called like a moped?
No,
Yeah.
that has gas. Just
A
Well,
bike
how
that
would
can
you
pedal
propulsion?
itself?
yeah,
though?
that would be
you
great.
would need some form of like solar.
Hey,
you know, and,
Whatever you gotta
okay.
do. I just
Okay.
said,
I
Oh,
see.
or like
Can
those
you?
self-driving
Yeah.
cars, except with a bike.
yeah, that would be nice. And then you can drink.
Yeah, that's fair enough. All right, this has been TBD, your Colorado Springs real estate podcast. We're all done. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.